I'm Rosana Azar. I'm from Argentina. I came to this country 25 years ago. I'm a professional artist since, long time. But I've been exhibiting in Argentina since I was 18. I just, this past years, I did a lot of different shows in Europe and in the States. And I'm very happy about sharing my artwork with different cultures too.
My name is Jody Sachs. I'm a metalsmith. I do wearable art as jewelry. I have a background in medicine. Actually, I'm a doctor of podiatric medicine, and I've always been interested in art, but it wasn't until 2 years ago that I retired, and now I do it full time.
I think the stories I'm telling in my paintings are stories that comes to me. I don't think of them in advance. I don't sketch. I just surprised by the process. So I create texture on my paintings first, and then I start creating layers of colors, and the movement and the color guides me. And then it's just all of a sudden I'm surprised of the things that I find. And that takes magic. I'm the first one to be surprised by it and to trust, the process and the universe in a way of what comes.
I think my life is pretty structured as an artist in order to be able to do things and create. It's like a job. You're going to work. You get up in the morning and you think, I'm going to get up, get dressed, and go to the studio. And it's very disciplined. I think if you want to create and make things, you have to force yourself to really get out and do it. And it's easy to let things go and not do anything at all, and just no one's forcing you to do it, so you could just not do anything. But I think to be an artist, it's really to be driven and be creative, where you want to get up and you want to create and you want to see where that day is going to take you and what piece you're making to get further along in the process.
This is about mindfulness. This is about being centered. And it was very interesting because in this painting, I fight with the image. I didn't want it to have a face. And this happens many times. When I fight with the painting that I don't want that image comes back. No matter what, I might cover it, I might gesso it over, and they always come back. And it came back. This came back 3 times. I tried to cover it. And then I just was like, okay, I'm done. I'm going to paint you. And when I opened myself to that, the whole painting just came up. So sometimes it's not good to just go against it. But it's a process, of trust, of doing it and showing up.
Right now I've been working on something that I've been thinking about for a long time. I've been always inspired by Andrew Wyeth's crow painting. It's a black and white painting he did of 2 crows. And I just love the beauty of the texture that he did in the body of the crows and the feathers. So I'm working first in a fold form copper piece, and then later I'll do a silver piece, maybe smaller. I have one ring that I'm very, very proud of. That's a hollow ring that's made in various stages to look like a building. And it's not something wearable, but when I was making it, my instructor at the time, because I was taking classes to learn more and expand techniques, she said, oh, you can't do that. Oh, you can't do that. And whatever she said I couldn't do, I did. And it's quite amazing how I put the different stages and levels together to form something that's really very architectural and very beautiful. Not very wearable, but it's art. And to me, I think she helped me realize that not everything has to be wearable to be art, to be beautiful. It can have the imagination you want and be creative as you want, and not worry about who wears it or who doesn't wear it.
It's interesting because I see artists, working with a lot of tools and things. I don't use a lot of tools. My tools are a scraper and a spatula to put the texture. I can even use a credit card sometimes, an old, credit card, to just splash it and, move it. And then I use the brushes that I use. They're very thin. I don't use big brushes because I really like to be into the painting, and get with those small brushes some definition and be able to discover the little parts into it. It's not only the big. When I start doing the washes of colors, yes, I get some big brushes. But then it's the tiny brush that gets me into the crevice of all these little details and things that I discover. So it's taking the patience, the consistency, and the discipline to work with it. Even though sometimes I don't see the whole picture, it's like, pulling a thread and getting a thread into the art.
I use a variety of tools whenever I work with metal. I use hammers, I use stakes, I use an anvil to hit on, because when you're forming metal, whether it's copper or silver or gold, it's not going to easily bend or move. You need to heat it up and anneal it first, and then actually move the metal with metal. So you use steel to move metal that's copper, silver, or gold. And you want something that's not going to move when you strike, so an anvil is really heavy and it's very stationary, and use a variety of different hammers on the metal on the anvil.
There is this myth that you have to be inspired to work. And if we're going to be waiting for the inspiration to come and sitting there and waiting, that doesn't come. That's not, okay, somebody's going to touch you. Oh, wow, the inspiration moment comes. I think it's discipline. The discipline to show up every day at the studio, even for an hour. But that's what I do, even though I teach and I do a lot of other things. But showing up at my studio every day for a little bit, that's what it takes you to the inspiration moment, or to be in the zone. But the zone is, it's discipline, is being mindful of what I'm doing.
So for me, I know I see my objects in art a certain way, and I see the end before the end is there, and I then build to the end, and I can't wait to get in the middle or near the end, because I see it in my head, whatever object I'm working on, whatever I'm creating, and I can't wait to finally begin to see it evolve into what I see in my head, and then others can see it too. It's fascinating to talk to other people and see their work in process and see the in-between stages. You don't see that when you go to a gallery. You see finished pieces.
Well, I remember one guy who bought one of my paintings a couple of years ago, and he called me a month later saying, "Rosana, I can't believe it. I have your painting in my room, and every morning when I wake up, I always have a message. I always see something different." And I was like, wow. And I was like, "Did you see this person there?" And I was like, "No, I just don't recall." And I was like, "Yeah, there is this image there that looks like a person." It's just like the discovering of new things, that I think I paint something and people relate to it and enter through different doors into the painting. So giving that possibility to a person to enter to my work and to my world, I just open a different door for people to get in. And as I said before, my artwork, it's mine while I'm painting it, but when I'm done, it enters different worlds and people relate in different ways. So if I can inspire something creative and hopeful for others, my job is done.